Today we are sharing 5 of the top reasons why everybody is moving to Salem, Oregon, according to niche.com. Before we get into it, if you are new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are 2 relocation real estate agents. We work with a lot of out-of-state clients, people like you who are watching our YouTube videos and are thinking about moving to Oregon all of the time, and we love it. If that's you, feel free to reach out. We would love to set up a video chat with you or a call and talk about the next steps. So I will put our contact information below.
You know what? This is a hard day, though, because I only get to talk about 5 things why you should move to Salem. There's more than 5. How am I going to stay on track?
There's definitely more than 5. We'll come on here and talk about it again soon.
Man, but I'm an Oregonian full and through. I was born in Salem. This is the sauce, as my brother would say. We live in Sauce Town.
Well, also, if you would like more information on relocating to living in real estate in Salem, Oregon specifically, and other towns in Oregon, head over to our channel. We have a handful of playlists where we give you all of the rundown. We have more, pros and cons of living here, everything you want to know. And again, this is according to an article on niche.com, so we didn't come up with these. We're going to
stick to that article.
But we will share our, what we think of each point as 2 lifelong Oregonians, but also, like I said, 2 people that work with a lot of out-of-state relocation clients. So we get to hear the input from people who are moving to Oregon from all over all the time. So let's see.
I think that's a big deal, though. Hearing those experiences from our current clients and past clients after the home is closed and sold, and then the whole journey in the process of buying a home. So we've gotten to meet, we've talked for months, and there's always a reason why they end up coming here to Oregon or wanting to move to Oregon. So that is really refreshing for us to hear, though, working with out-of-state clients like yourselves. So if that's you and you are looking to be here in Oregon, let us know why in the comments. I'm always happy to hear and know why, being an Oregonian myself, because as you know, when you're around an environment so much, it's like living with a dog, right? This thing, it could smell really bad. So you invite people into your house, you don't know that it smells so bad because you're so used to it. That might be a bad comparison or analogy, but well, I'm saying, being an Oregonian, I could become numb to some things. And you guys, it's a refreshing take. So please leave those comments below.
It's very true. Yeah, we love hearing your guys' input and feedback in the comments. Okay, so the number one reason that they think Oregon is or Salem specifically, is a great place to move to right now is the low unemployment rate.
That is fabulous.
A good thing.
I think this is a nationwide thing too, though. You hear it all the time. Our employment rates are pretty low, and there's always a workplace, an employer, a big corporation needing employees. It's been so hard to keep a loyal, firm employee over time lately. But something Oregon has, in my lifetime especially, has always offered, I would say, is employment.
Yeah.
The problem is the rate of pay. I really feel like, and that's being caught up and brought back to everybody's perspective and attention, just knowing where we're at as a nation. Right. But our average rate of pay, I believe, has gone up tremendously just over the last 3 years.
It has.
And our employment rates, I agree, they are just great. And there's a lot of good building happening here in Salem. Whenever I see a skyscraper, there is no skyscrapers. That was a joke.
But something being built.
Something being built.
Construction.
A crane, for instance. Whenever I see that in town or something, it's awesome. It's refreshing. And then whenever I see the remodeling happening, there's so many sides of Salem right now that remodels happening everywhere. New restaurants are going in. There's new food chains. And then just the revamping, the updating, getting out of those late 90s shopping centers. It's really been something refreshing to see as an Oregonian.
I would say that this pro of moving here, the low unemployment rate, applies to Salem, but also so many towns surrounding Salem. And we have so many great towns that are on the outskirts in every different direction, besides just Salem itself, which is something we talk about different towns on our channel if you want more information. But also, if we hop on a call with you, if you're thinking about moving here, that's definitely something we can answer your questions about and help point you in the right direction for. But as far as talking about Salem specifically, one great thing about Salem, as far as jobs, the unemployment rate, we are not just growing in number. We are definitely growing as much, or I would say even more, as we are growing in number, like people moving here. We are growing in things to do, places to go. There are so many new businesses popping up. And this is something we recognize because we really pay attention to as people who, I don't know.
Well, we're in the industry.
Being in the real estate industry. Yes, I guess you could say. It's constantly being brought to our attention. There are so many new businesses on every different side of town popping up all of the time. We're very rich in local businesses in Salem specifically. We have a great, I don't know what to call it, just a lot of local businesses.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very positive thing. Okay. Reason number 2 that they said was affordable housing.
Some people will say it's not. Some people will say it is. What's the average sales price here in Salem right now, Mariah?
About $425,000, I would say, or $420,000 or so.
Yeah, I'd say $420,000 to $430,000 here in Salem, city of Salem.
Yeah,
and it's like probably where you're located. There's a city, and then there's an outskirt city, and then there's just this rural town.
Yeah,
and you kind of get what you pay for. I can refer it in that way, but. You can always find something cheaper usually. And the problem right now that once again, across the whole nation is happening, inventory. It's so low in these outskirt rural cities. It's hard to find affordable housing.
Right.
I mean, even those areas have just escalated completely when it comes to these average sales prices. And it's because, you know what, people are maybe wanting to get out of Dodge, get out of the city and migrate towards that urban or the rural lifestyle.
Yeah. And there are no signs of home prices dropping.
Not currently.
Anytime soon.
No.
And that is a whole other show. We won't get into that. We should actually talk about Oregon specifically, like housing market here in Oregon specifically.
Absolutely.
Sometime soon just to chat about that. But I mean, one of the reasons, there is a whole handful, is we are at a record low inventory. There are hardly any sellers. And with the supply and demand, it is just, and the fact that everybody is so equity rich, like home sellers have so much equity in their homes. People have great interest rates. Like there's a lot of factors, but
it's been like trying to get people out of their house on a 110-degree day when your house has AC.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get people out there and in the market when, we're sitting their mortgages at a below 4% interest rate. They've been there for 3+ years. They got all this equity, but they can't actually trade for it. There's nothing out there for them to purchase and find. There are variables, and it's tough. But when it does come to affordability, though, compared to other parts of the nation and what Oregon does have to offer, because that's what today's show is all about, and Salem specifically, our area and what it has to offer, I would suggest it to be affordable within a 40-mile radius all the way around Salem.
Yes, that's very true. And what we're seeing a lot of buyers doing right now is purchasing their home, and they are planning on refinancing when interest rates drop, because the thing is, when interest rates drop, we are going to see this mass crazy all these buyers that are waiting for interest rates to drop come out of the woodwork. And just like we saw last time, when interest rates were low before, I'm talking like every offer we were writing was $50,000 under asking price. And I know that sounds so crazy, but it was insane. And so when interest rates drop, we're going to have that insane, crazy competitive market again, which was going to drive home prices up again even more. Mm-hmm. And it's just so crazy. So a lot of home buyers are buying right now because you can negotiate, which when interest rates are super low, there is no negotiating happening. No. You can buy a house that's contingent on your home selling. Like, it was so hard to get a contingent offer accepted with these interest rates historically low. So there's so many factors, but wasn't planning on going into like the housing market. But anyway, we'll do a full show soon talking about and updating you guys on the Oregon housing market. But back to living in and moving to Oregon. The next reason was reasonable cost of living if compared to other West Coast cities. So
do we have like a cost per meal?
Oh, we did a show not too long ago. It's on our playlist we have about living in Salem, where we share the specific cost of living right now, updated cost of living in Salem, and we do share even the cost of like an average meal. So you can go find that. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I mean, to my knowledge and memory, the average place, it seems to be like $14 a plate,
Yeah.
Which to me sounds kind of outrageous.
It does. And I think the cost of living has gone up everywhere. Obviously, if you compare, Oregon is not one of the cheapest states to live in. Right. If you're comparing it to so many different places in the US, which I think I forget about, because usually I do just compare it to other places on the West Coast. And if you're comparing it to other cities on the West Coast, it is reasonable.
It's reasonable.
It is reasonable. So it just depends on what side of the country you're coming from.
Go to Canada, go to Seattle,
Portland,
go to LA, go to Portland.
Anywhere in California.
I'm just saying, you head south in California, everything is just exponentially higher. I mean, gas, it's over $1 more per gallon, and then kind of the same way once you get to Bellevue, Washington, Spokane area, once you start heading north. So Salem really is that sweet spot for a good, 120 miles until you get to Redding, California. Yeah. And that's where I would say it is affordable. Now, if you're living in the Midwest or something and, But even that, it's like pretty close to here. Like Redding and our prices are pretty similar. They're not drastic. But we are cheaper.
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay. Number 4 is outdoor recreation opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we could walk outside of our door and just walk around the corner and be at a beautiful, one of the biggest parks
in the nation.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest walking trails, beautiful pond.
Paved walking trails.
There's bike routes. There's, we're constantly seeing bikers just right around the corner from our house. We could go on a walk outside of our home and our view is going to be, obviously there's like other houses. We live in a neighborhood, but there's huge, mature, beautiful trees, and you just don't see that in every state.
Yeah, you don't. And the colors, the greenery, I mean, when fall comes, I can't wait. I'm already, I'm ready for the leaves to turn already.
Yes. Oregon in fall is so beautiful. Salem, Oregon specifically in fall is so beautiful. If you're coming here in the fall time, I would say go check out some historic neighborhoods. Go on a walk at Bush Park and then the Bush Park neighborhoods around that area. Those are my favorite neighborhoods during fall time. Awesome. So beautiful. Okay. Last but not least, vibrant arts and culture scene.
Yeah. And this one, I don't really, I mean, that's just not my scene. Do you got much on that?
No, I mean, we're not the most artistic.
No, if
we appreciate it.
My sister was here.
Yes, she is in that.
She'd be able to tell you all about it.
Culture, yes, very much. But I'm not really that immersed in the arts and culture scene. We go to, the art fair sometimes and we appreciate that.
Yeah, totally.
But that is a part of Salem. I would also say
there's always something going on.
Yes.
Literally. For the arts and entrepreneurship. If you're creative and wanting to make your own items and material.
Yes.
There's always booths. There's Saturday markets. There's events. I mean, the Salem has the Arts Museum, right? And it's on Willamette University. Well, it's not on. It's technically on, but right across the street from Willamette University. And it's beautiful. And we could call comedy art. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have a comedy nightclub right downtown. So great location too.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, because you hear people that have lived in certain towns for so long say things like there's nothing to do here, but we really truly never run out of things to do. I think maybe you're just don't know where to look, or you've walked by these businesses for so long that you just kind of are blind to them, or maybe you're expecting a town like Salem to have as much to do as a town like Portland.
Right.
But obviously there's less to do in a town like this, but we don't have to deal with the traffic. We don't have to deal with the home prices. So it's kind of like you get what you pay for. But for the size of the town, I would say there is a lot going on, especially during the summer. We definitely always find something to do. But we'll talk about the housing market soon. We'll also come on and talk about like more specifically why we like living here, because I feel like we could go on more about that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, these topics are so hard to stay on track with. I do apologize if we rambled a little bit and got off topic, but these top 5, they are serious considerations as to why you should want to move here to Oregon. And being Oregonians ourselves, I mean, this is the truth, honest opinion. This is not a scripted show.
Yeah.
And we just want to bring you guys value. So if you're out of state and you're wanting to maybe look into moving to Oregon or knowing more about specific areas, feel free to reach out. Our email or our website is below in the description. Please use that. And my goal is to always get back to you within 24 hours and service you as best as we can here at Vettrus Crawford Realty.
Yes, we would absolutely love to help you. And we come on here every single week and talk about Oregon, real estate, and everything else related to that. So whether you are somebody who is thinking about moving to Oregon, whether you already live in Oregon, or if you are simply just curious and you like learning about Oregon, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you next week.